Welcome to our third quarter of our fiscal year 2022-2023 Kentucky Innovation Hub's quarterly update. Good morning to everyone. For those of you that are regulars to this series, welcome back. And for those of you that are new, welcome. We're happy to have you join us. This is our opportunity as presented by both KSTC and KY Innovation to present the progress and updates from our 6 innovation hubs and representative of the ESOs or entrepreneurial support organizations in their regions. As I mentioned, we're now in the third quarter of our fiscal year, so 9 months worth of highlights and results from July 1st of last year until March 31st of this year. And we appreciate the opportunity to share with you the progress and the impact and the results of the work of our innovation hubs around the state, along with their regional partners. This quarterly format allows us to keep you informed and up to date in a very transparent manner about the state of startups across our Commonwealth. So our 6 innovation hubs and each of the region's ESOs provide startup coaching services, curated connections to a broad array of startup resources and programming for their clients. And of course, all of this helps our founders across the Commonwealth to grow their businesses. And the hubs assist and they track that work, advancing and supporting those businesses with them, and they support them in the areas of capital, customers, mentors, and other resources. And all of this is needed, of course, for a very vibrant Kentucky ecosystem. So I'd like to just take a moment to share with you some of the headlines of this past quarter in our state of startups. First of all, I want to certainly welcome some new team members that we have. Hannah Randval is serving in the position of Community Development with Grow West. And we want to welcome 3 new members to the Blue North team. Max Doran, who is serving as an entrepreneur in residence. Reese Watson is an ecosystem builder. And Hayden Turley has joined the team working in the area of design. And I do want to take a special moment really to thank Lisa Williams with Create in Elizabethtown. She'll be retiring at the end of June, so congratulations to you, Lisa. But I want everyone to know that she has been such an integral, longtime member of our longstanding Kentucky entrepreneurial community. And I absolutely want to take this moment to thank you, Lisa, for all of your leadership and your years of supporting founders, advancing startups, programs, and in particular, your beloved startup gardens over the years. So thank you so much, Lisa, and congratulations. And that provides a really nice segue into some exciting news in Elizabethtown, and you'll hear about this. Lisa and the Create team are holding their grand opening of Coke, the Center of Kentucky Entrepreneurship, in Elizabethtown next week. We're going to hear more about that, but I did want to applaud Lisa on that significant milestone at the end of her tenure, and congratulations to the whole Create team. Thank you also to Launch Blue, who held their investment lab, which was 3 important events over a 2-day period earlier this month. And they brought together entrepreneurs, investors, and ecosystem builders. And wow, those attendees were so fortunate to get to hear from best-selling author, seasoned entrepreneur, business executive, startup advisor, executive coach, and investor all in one, Gordon Doherty with Capital Factory from Austin. And our thanks also go to Commonwealth Seed Capital and Key Horse Capital. These are, of course, the Commonwealth's 2 state funds, and they jointly hosted a statewide investor meetup last week that brought close to 60 investors from both within Kentucky as well as our surrounding states. And they have either invested in Kentucky startups or they would like to invest in Kentucky startups. And we certainly look forward to more from those relationships that were begun. Congrats to Blue North for launching the new Northern Kentucky Entrepreneurship Fund with Main Street Ventures and Horizon Community Foundation. They're already providing grants to Northern Kentucky startups. We'll hear a bit more about that. Let's talk about some of our startup clients and those successes to highlight. A huge shout out to Good Maps in Louisville, who received first place in the Consumer Electronics Show pitch competition earlier this year. This year's theme there happened to be Better for It, which was focused on improving the lives of the disabled and the elderly. And Good Maps is one of only 9 companies invited to participate and present, and they won first place. In the Create region, Bumped Up is an app that helps women improve physical activity and health outcomes through their pregnancy and postpartum stages. And they've benefited from connections to Launch Blue's USL program and support from Kentucky Commercialization Ventures. In the SOAR region, 9 Eastern Kentucky businesses presented at Invest 606 Demo Day, which showcases their ideas and development of their businesses. And also in the SOAR region, big shout out to App Harvest. They announced a $40 million public offering in February, and that offering includes 40 million shares of the company's stock, priced at $1 per share. And App Harvest will use that largely for their working capital. You may remember that App Harvest raised $475 million in net proceeds through their initial public offering in 2021. In the Grow West region, Feed Coyote, who was a 2022 First 50K award winner, was selected to the National Techstars Accelerator. So they're a business platform that's connecting and managing those that work with short-term gigs all in one place. And not surprisingly, Feed Coyote was the winner of Awesome's February 5 Across pitch competition. In the Amplify region, congratulations to Julia Reagan, founder and CEO of RX Lightning, being named to the inaugural Biz Women 100. This is the first national listing of women who are making an impact in their local communities. RX Lightning is focused on the specialty prescription management space. In the SOAR region as well, New Frontier received the 2023 Best Textile Award at the Appalachian Arts and Entertainment Awards, or the APPEs, held in March. And that day was proclaimed by Governor Beshear as Appalachian Arts and Entertainment Day across the Commonwealth. And welcome to Cooler Keg in the Blue North region. They're developing a portable draft system that keeps beverages ice cold and on tap. And Cooler Keg became fully funded within 7 minutes of opening their crowdfunding campaign. And they've recently moved their company from Chicago to the Northern Kentucky area. And then finally, in the Amplify region, Care Mobile, which is a dental service focused on innovation in the direct-to-consumer oral care delivery model. They were selected as one of 23 startups to watch for the Amazon Web Services, or AWS, Accelerator. As far as capital goes, the hubs and I track investment activity in the Kentucky startups, which means the number of startups that receive funding and the total amount invested in them. And in the last 9 months of the fiscal year, in total, we had 73 startups that were funded in Kentucky with more than $109 million in early stage investment. The largest investment in this last quarter goes to Catalyst Resources, located in Lexington. The company's coal mining services are extracting coal from its ores, and then that's used in production of silicone metals. The company raised $4.28 million in venture funding in the form of convertible debt from a number of undisclosed investors. And following very closely behind them was Leadrilla. They're also known as Sales River, also located in Lexington, and they're a developer of a customer acquisition platform designed for sales teams of every size. And that company raised $3.95 million of Series A2 venture funding in a deal that was led by Marker Capital. We've had some great meetings with Keyhorse Capital to understand and provide a pipeline of potential investment deals to them. and to certainly take advantage of this huge SSBCI equity investment opportunity that we have, which of course is administered by Keyhorse. And if you have startups considering a pre-seed round, know that the 2023 render competition is open for submissions, and they'll award 8 companies $100,000 each in investment through a safe note to help them grow their businesses. And I want to give a shout out to Amplify. They've partnered with a national organization to provide funding and startup resources to underrepresented founders. The Founder Forward cohort in Louisville is comprised of 4 businesses. Amplify works closely with them for coaching, programming, and mentorship, and you'll hear more about that. And the Wild Accelerator has received a JP Morgan Chase grant to select their next cohort of companies: Elephant in the Room, the Nori Project, Community, and Black UX Labs were selected to that most recent cohort. So at this point, that wraps up our state of startups. And I'm going to transition at this point. And normally, most of you know that we would be introducing Monique Quarterman at this point. She is actually on her way to San Francisco for a conference, but she did ask me to convey some of her thoughts and comments at this point on behalf of the cabinet. So she wanted to let you all know that Team Kentucky extends its sincere gratitude to the 6 regional Kentucky Innovation Hubs for preparing all of their report outs for this quarter. And it is very much indeed a busy time of year, and especially with Derby Festival going on now and the recent close of the legislative session. Beginning in late May, take note, Kentucky's Innovation Directory name will change. And it will change from the Office of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Innovation to now be called the Office of Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So that is as part of a cabinet-wide reorganization strategy. All of the work, however, remains the same, and they'll continue to support award-winning startups like New Frontier in the SOAR region, winning Textile of the Year, and as well as their launch of the new line of sustainable denim. They'll also continue to support translational industry partnerships like Logan Aluminum and Envision, partnering with the Create Hub in Bowling Green. And they'll still continue to celebrate community partnerships that draw world-class startups and talent to Kentucky, like the great work we've seen recently by Sprocket and Blue North. And as always, Monique would like to thank KSTC in support of managing the hubs, organizing the stories that we're tracking from all over the Commonwealth. And please know that those stories often flow directly from our 6 regional innovation hubs. So thank you for the work that you do there. So after all of that, please take a moment to follow KY Innovation, follow the KY Inno Digital publication, and also the Middle Tech podcast for more great content that everybody can follow to stay in the loop. So with that, we're going to go ahead and hear from our 6 innovation hubs. And very quickly, their locations, looking clockwise from top, moving around the state. We'll hear from Blue North and SOAR in our eastern region. We'll move down to our central area of the state with Create. Out west, we'll hear from Grow West. And then, of course, we'll round out with Amplify and Awesome. You'll remember that we do have 2 extended offices as part of the Create region in Elizabethtown and Owensboro. And so what are we going to cover? Well, again, the innovation hubs will share 3 quarters worth of results from fiscal year 22-23 against their 12-month goals, so that we can see their progress and their impact. In front of you, there are the 9 metrics that we continue to track. And certainly the most important of these, the number of startups advanced due to the direct assistance and support by our innovation hubs and all of their regional partners. We'll also hear an event highlight from last quarter from the hubs, as well as a strategic opportunity coming up for this next quarter. So a reminder to all of our hub presenters, you have 5 minutes to provide your updates. And kicking us off, we are going to start with Dave Knox, who is Executive Director of Blue North and covering the areas of Covington, Florence, Erlanger, and Newport. Hi, Dave.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. Lisa, you gonna give control or?
Megan will do that, and you can just let her know when you need her to advance. There you go.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, first off, with a success story, I want to talk about what was hinted at by Lisa and Monique there in our intro. So in Q4 of 2022, we were fortunate enough to launch the Northern Kentucky Entrepreneur Fund. And that word fund is not in the venture capital speak, but in the sense of a community giving fund. We launched this as a broader initiative where our goal is to really impact the region in a much bigger way. And our first project with that is actually something that we're doing with an organization called Main Street Ventures. Main Street Ventures is funded from the success that the Cincinnati region has had with a startup accelerator called the Brandery. And since 2018, Main Street has given out almost $3 million of grants to entrepreneurs throughout the greater Cincinnati region. The problem we were faced with was less than 10% of those grants were actually coming to Kentucky, despite Northern Kentucky being about a third of the population of greater Cincinnati. The reason for that was the lack of a matching program. Some of the local organizations in Cincinnati had created vehicles where it could be a matching dollar flow. We were able to solve that with the Northern Kentucky Entrepreneur Fund. We were fortunate that RC Durr Foundation was our original partner for that, for this first year of experiment. We just wrapped up the Q1 results. That was the first time doing this. And really were blown away with the results that came out. We were able to give out $140,000 worth of grants to entrepreneurs here in Northern Kentucky. Those were very wide ranging. We had everything from a retail business that is growing their franchises to Cooler King that we mentioned that is this amazing new hardware business that just moved here, to a pizza company that was actually going to use it to renovate their second floor and expand, to a new tech company that is going off and just about to start their venture capital raise. So a whole gamut of how we define entrepreneurship and what growth can really look like in a region. Most exciting is the result of that is about 54% of the dollars for Q1 came to Northern Kentucky. Remember, less than 10% used to go to Northern Kentucky. So a 5x increase in what that result was. And we also had a 4x increase in the number of Northern Kentucky entrepreneurs that applied to participate in Main Street Ventures grants. We also had an added bonus. 2 of the companies did not qualify as Northern Kentucky Entrepreneur Fund, but through the partnership with Key Horse Capital, they're actually in the process of moving to Northern Kentucky. So we kind of got a double bonus that we gave out 7 grants, but really it was for 9 Northern Kentucky companies that fall into that. So super excited for it. We actually have applications live right now for Q2. Those are due by May 15th, I believe. So if you know of any companies in Northern Kentucky, definitely encourage them to apply. It's super exciting. We've got an information session tomorrow, I believe, that people can get questions answered as well. But we're super excited and think we've got a lot more impact to come because of our original money, we've got at least triple what we gave out in Q1 we'll be able to do for the rest of the year. So very exciting stuff there. Next slide. Quickly go through our results. Things continue to go very well on the Blue North side. For us, we're really focused on that one-on-one interaction with our entrepreneurs. How do we spend time helping them drive in, roll up our sleeves, and see what we can do to really drive things where we want to go and where we need it to kind of advance. So met all of our goals with Startup Served, Startup Advanced, referrals, we're on track. We'll get there for the end of the year to meet that. And jobs always fickle of how you track those, but we're tracking them where we can. So next slide. One of the things that we're in a unique ecosystem in Northern Kentucky because we are part of Startup Cincy overall. And so we had actually intentionally not focused a lot on events. Our sub-grantees, though, kind of blew us away with they got really into the event world quite recently. So we had a lot more events than we were planning and a lot more attendees. But I think we're seeing across all of the hubs that there's a real passion and an interest of people to get out, to reconnect, because we're all missing the lost 2.5 years of COVID where we didn't get an opportunity to do that. So really happy with that. And startup investments continue to go very, very well. We actually will blow that number away here in Q4. We have one of our startups that's about to close what will either be a $50 or $60 million round. So that will far exceed our goals for the year. But, pesky of when those dollars get wired in that we don't get to count it here for Q3. But Q4, it's looking good for us. And then from Q3, we had a really exciting event. There was a partnership between Blue North and a lot of the community, including one of our sub-grantees. So Incubator Kitchen is a leading food and beverage incubator here in town. They've been around since 2012. They're our newest sub-grantee for Blue North. So we added them in September this year as our newest sub-grantee. They've had around 170 companies that have gone through the program. Great success with it. One of the needs they saw was that crossover of once you've see success, it's working. How do you step into that next stage of growth with wholesale? And instead of encouraging people to go to fancy foods and Expo East and Expo West, where it's going to cost you $10,000 to $15,000 participate, Rachel and the team at Incubator Kitchen launched a new show called Good and Local. They actually had a sellout crowd for it. They had more buyers than they knew what to do with, and they ran out of space as well. So they're planning on dialing this up and going much, much bigger. And just a good example of success, Dorothy Lane Market, which is, I think, 3 or 4 retail grocery stores in Dayton. They walked out and actually picked up about 4 brands that they met at the food show and placed POs by 9 a.m. the next morning. So great success of not just feeling good about the meeting, but feeling good because you actually got money in the bank and an order coming out of it. So the goal is to go much, much bigger for this here in the fall of 2023. And one of the things we really want to do is make this a Kentucky show. So the hope is that we can get all of the hubs to nominate companies, bring them up, and really drive both the retail and the buying experience to show why Kentucky is one of the best states for food and beverage entrepreneurs. Next one. And then final, from a major initiative standpoint, one of the things we're really focused on is what are we best at instead of trying to be good enough for everything. One of our focus areas there is a concept we're calling the corridor of commerce. And if you think about the corridor of commerce, it's one that we say starts in Cincinnati and runs all the ways through the state of Kentucky. It's really the backbone of what we sit at, from how things are made, how they're transacted, how they're marketed, how they're distributed. And with that, we have a new growth equity fund here in Northern Kentucky called eGateway Capital. It's a $150 million growth equity fund. And they kicked off with their first event that they're calling Commerce and Cocktails, where they're gathering our top business leaders, the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, to get together and talk about how do we really own this concept of corridor of commerce. Their first event was last week. Blue North is the title sponsor along with eGateway for putting these on. And it's going to be a really exciting thing that we're going to continue to push. Next week, we've actually got the eGateway annual meeting where corridor of commerce is going to be talked even more. And it's going to be a further collaboration that we're hoping to do across the state with all of the different hubs as we drive this effort. So that's what I got.
Terrific. And love the whole collaboration, of course, that you have with your sub-grantees, and the fact that they're picking up quite a number of those great events that I see quite a bit of communication and social posts around, so that allows you, Blue North, to stay very focused on working directly with your founders. Thank you so much, Dave. All right, moving on, we're going to jump over to the Western region. And I'd like to bring up Monica Belak, Executive Director with Grow West, and of course, representing Paducah, Madisonville, and Murray. Monica?
Hello. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. We'll get started. We'll just jump right in with Hot Flight. So our great business news is that we have recruited an eVTOL company coming here in the summer. We're doing this as a partnership actually with our local government as well. So they're actually going to be putting in about $500,000 to update a hangar at Berkeley Regional as well. So there's a big team effort here, but they are going to be launching and doing R&D on the only 5th gen eVTOL in development right now. So that's really cool. On the bottom right, you can see a picture of this. It's got a unique design. They have another craft that actually is rolling out production this summer that is unmanned. And so that will also be taking place in Paducah at the airport. So we're really excited for them. They have a large military contract that also has been expedited. So they'll be actually manufacturing here and in Texas, in Amarillo, Texas. So we're very excited to be part of that. Next slide. Here are our key metrics. We're really tracking pretty well with everything that we needed to. I will say our invested in startups is a little off because Lisa and I worked through our numbers yesterday. We're about $500,000 or more off. So we did hit our number and exceeded it. We just need to get some finals in from Hot Flight and some other companies that we have. So we're excited about that. Really happy about the number of startups that we could fund. I will tell you, we get so busy working with companies and I start making referrals, and I ended up talking to some of our funders in the past couple of months, and we just started rolling through, and it was really amazing how much we were really helping some of these smaller companies leverage and really get some traction. So I'm just going to say shout out to Keyhorse and other funders that have helped us get Western Kentucky moving in this direction. So very exciting. A lot of attendees and events, and that will take us to our next slide, because Madisonville, Hopkins County Economic Development is just amazing at gathering people, getting them excited about entrepreneurship and equipping them. So they are about to host next month. They're going to have something. They have 2 facilities. So they have an innovation station, which is a co-work space. They also do a maker space. So if anybody is needing to prototype or fabricate in very small batches, there is a public maker space where you can do that in the state of Kentucky. Sometimes they're associated with other entities, and it can be hard to get in, but not at this one in Madisonville. So keep that in mind as you're building prototypes or helping people fabricate product. And so they'll be having a fair on May 6th. So that will be really great. Every time they have something, I think about 500 or 600 people show up. So it's going to be wonderful. I'm excited to see that. Next slide. Okay, well, we got, this is very exciting. This is one of those collaborations. So Chris Redd is coming from Louisville to Paducah. I think he's hitting Covington and Lexington too. Very excited to really help some of our underrepresented founders get some play here and get some networking going, and really look at what are the resources for capital. And Larry Horn is going to be there too from Amplify. So, you don't want to miss it. Thank you for the wave, Larry. That is going to be a really special time. So we're looking forward to that. And then for our ongoing initiative, we do an innovation challenge. And I have to say, we are in part supported through USDA. They really do. I got a shout out to them too. If you're in a rural community, give a look at some of the programs that they have, even in lending. They can be fantastic for us who are not as heavily populated as other parts of the state. So we are so excited about 2 companies coming out of this. Really, really excited. So will hear more Right now we have heads down. The companies are working with software engineers. And we're working on roadmaps and sketching out kind of what are the features and how we're going to build out our customer discovery. But this has been a great one. This goes to anybody in West Kentucky in our region. And so we are excited to have that available in about another 6 months. And that is the report from West Kentucky. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Monica. All right, we're going to move upward, and on behalf of our Louisville region, we have, of course, Amplify Louisville. We have, and so fortunate to have both Larry Horn, the infamous executive director over there at Amplify, and joined with him is Jen Callahan, who is their director of business development and marketing. I'm not sure who's given the update today, but I'm happy to have you both. Looks like it may be Larry. Hi, Larry.
Hey, Lisa. Yes. Jen would do a better job. She didn't want me to look bad in front of all of my peers across the state. So she's like, you better just do it. Well, again, hello, everyone. My name is Larry Horn. As Lisa mentioned, with Amplify Louisville, we support tech-enabled companies that have the potential to be venture-backed, anywhere from ideation to that growth stage round. And we are agnostic of industry. And one of our first kind of key wins we wanted to talk about, Lisa did a great job talking about several of them, but we're really proud of the work that Amplify has done with Michael Brizendine over the last several years. But really this picture you see here is from the 20 startups to watch in 23. And Michael, who we met through a local university years ago, we've been working with coaching through our EIR program, helping him get into cohorts like Vote Awards, and then continue to help him with investment. Was able to join an accelerator in New York, I believe it was, this Sputnik that came along with a $100,000 investment, and just has continued to grow his company from where he started. It's been a true pleasure to watch his company continue to be successful. And you can kind of see from the quote here, I won't read it, but he gives us a lot of credit for supporting him through his journey, and we couldn't be more proud of Michael and what he's accomplished.
He's actually down south in Austin.
When I saw ATX, I was like, oh wait, so many founders, so many accelerators
right?
in different places. Yeah. So here are metrics for the third quarter. As you can see here, our 3-month goals are on the bottom line, and then what we accomplished with our team, which includes the University of Louisville, Startup Serve. We continue to have several one-on-one meetings, as well as kind of small informal dinners and gatherings where we're supporting founders in kind of unique ways. The referral piece, this is, if I could track all the ones I also do on my cell phone through text messages, this number might be bigger, but just proud to kind of connect again to Lisa's point, capital, mentorship, customers, talent. Startup Advanced, this is still one that we'll talk about here in a second, that we hope to get a much more robust understanding of when we think about Startups Advanced. Again, it's advancing through the viral pathway through Village Capital. New businesses created. This is the one I really wish we could get a good solid feel on, especially for this part of the year. A lot of the companies that we meet may have formed at the end of 22, but didn't get into our office or into our pipeline until 23. We are working with the Secretary of State to kind of hopefully pull down some data, understand when companies become registered, so we can have that data in our CRM and really understand when and where they started officially with the state. Next slide, please. Events hosted. So we talk about this probably every quarter. We spend about 40% of our state budget supercharging other organizations. But these are just the events that we hosted. These are everything from co-hosting webinars to doing a lot of our own events with Founder Forward, and our own presentations and kind of like the nuts and bolts of building a business things that we do. And then events participants, again, a lot of this is small curated groups of folks. So we still had 400 attendees or event participant of hosted events over the last quarter. Startups funded that we had some tie to, at least. You can see that 15. The startup investment, though, still a great number at $2.6 million. When we look back at the last 6 months, we had $23 million in the second quarter of our fiscal year. And so still kind of going from year to date, we far surpassed that goal as a region, which we couldn't be more proud of. Next slide. And then founder forward. You can tell that Jen put this deck together because I would never put a picture of myself up there talking. But this was an event that was so amazing. This is Lisa mentioned this at the beginning. This is a national program that Amplify really acted as boots on the ground this past year and really kind of like elevated, amplified, supercharged, all my favorite buzzwords, this thing. And you can kind of see from some of the metrics, this is really a grant-based program for Black and Brown founders, kind of at that friends and family stage. And you can kind of see some of the ways that we help them. This is the attempt of not making it overly programmatic in order to receive dollars. We started off, we gave every founder at the beginning of the cohort $5,000 to start working on their business. And then attached, you can see kind of one-on-one meetings, coaching, weekly get-togethers. We end up raising a total of $65,000 and some change, but it's really like 65,750 or something like that. But that gets split equally between the 4 companies as grant dollars. And you can kind of see from Sean from Pep Rally, which is one of our great companies here in town, with the quote and the support. And that was just one of the really heartwarming things. You see that picture in the crowd, that's a lot of family members. And I asked the question during the event, how many people were startups or founders? And not many people raised their hand, which was a great opportunity to first say, go hug these folks because this is hard. And second, just to let them see about these entrepreneurial processes and watch their friends and family continue to grow their businesses. So it was a really heartwarming, great event and an idea of how Amplify is looking to make these programs turnkey and then look to community partners to maybe take this over so we can then focus on kind of the next thing that could require some additional bandwidth and support. I think that might be it, not at all. And so the last thing is the initiative. Talked about this a little bit last week on our call, and this goes back directly to the Startups Advanced. And so this is partnering and leveraging a program called Abaca, which does venture investment levels. Essentially for us, what this does, allows us to have founders do self-assessments about where they are in the stage of their business. And we like to say this is a common language for us to use with other ESOs, both in our backyard and across the state. So, and I see Buddy, who's right below me on the family cubes here. If I need to send a founder to Buddy and I can say, Buddy, this is a stage 1 founder, stage 2 founder, he's going to know what I mean. And so we can all kind of be synergistic in the way that we support together. And then also solves these common problems between, entrepreneurs looking for support and help, venture capitalists looking for deal flow, ESOs looking for like, where do we put most of our money to kind of really help these founders get to the end goal. So we're really excited to have this tool. It's a part of our online community that we are unleashing to our region very soon. So very excited to have this and hope this is something that we can leverage across the state and just continue to double down and support our founders.
Great. Thank you so much, Larry. And we certainly look forward to all of your outcome and results from that pilot and utilizing Abaca. That's a great tool. Excited to hear more about that with you. All right, now moving down to Central Kentucky region and representing that particular region of Bowling Green, Elizabethtown, and Owensboro. We have Buddy Steen, who is the program director there with Create. Hi, Buddy.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much. We're the Central Region Ecosystem for Arts, Technology, and Entrepreneurship. And we're so happy and proud to be a part of a family of folks. The WKU Innovation Campus is our host here. Create is the economic development core at the Innovation Campus. The Kentucky Innovation Group provides our funding and a lot of program support. Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, just as I mentioned, is a full partner. They bring companies to us, just like Larry said. It's kind of a mutually beneficial thing. We focus on the tech and the companies that have a national, international market using knowledge and technology, and it's just a very, very well aligned ecosystem at the moment. I want to tell you about a new project. It's not new in existence, but it's new in the way it's forming. About a year ago, the WKU Research Foundation Create pushed out a company called WKU Launchpad Inc. It's a for-profit company, C Corp, and it's designed to catch technologies that are flowing out of the university and actually put them in business, as opposed to just licensing it off, out of state or out of ecosystem. That company we formed, I'm the president of that company. And we have flowed in this past fiscal year, we created one company through it. The second company that's flowing into that launchpad is Bingo Size. Bingo Size it was developed at WKU by Dr. Jason Granville. It's academically at the doctoral level. It's, if you will, evidence-based behavioral modification methodology. Okay, I mean, that's not easy to do. Behavior modification methodologies are difficult. He has figured that out. It's started to be successful in the marketplace. We decided that it's time to go for profit. And so we're just excited. Dr. Crandall's going to be the CEO. I'm probably going to be chairman of the board. We'll have its own board. And so just more to come on Bingo Size job creation and opportunities. And that's what we're all about. When you boil down what we're doing, we're talent centric. Our value proposition, Lisa, is all about, recruiting, maintaining talent, which companies follow. And so we're excited. You'll hear more about Bingo Size. For our metrics, it's kind of nice being next to a $103 billion GDP sun economy called Nashville that grew by $23 billion during COVID. So, while we might not be able to commit, always to, goals that are high because it's some things are kind of random. We're clearly doing pretty good. 563 startups served. There's a lot in the pipeline. We hired 3 entrepreneurial ecosystem developers to sort of touch and communicate with our folks out there, as well as Jeff and me and Sam Ford and Lisa and Steve Smith. So we've got some good assets there. Our goal was 300. We made 563. Number of referrals, 160. Our goal was 100. Number of startups advanced, difficult to track so much without this Abaca tool. But Larry, we really are looking forward to using your Abaca tool to get our hands around that metric better. So 19 of those, goal was 6. Number of new startups. That one is actually a low number. It's not accurate. There's more than 5. But that's what we were able to kind of track and put in. Our goal was 15. Number of new hosted events and attendees, 27 events, 779 attendees. Goal was 12 for 12 months and 500, so past that. Number of startups funded, 16. Goal was 6. Amount invested in startups, it's been a good year. It's even going to be a better year. That number is $70 million. Our goal was 1 million. Number of new jobs, maybe this is the most important of all, right? Because we're here to increase the overall standard of living, both economically and culturally, and the kind of jobs we're creating do that. And that's 73 new jobs that we've tracked to date. Our goal was 100. We'll easily get there. Next. Yeah, so we have events. Lisa Williams, the great event master. We're going to miss her very, very much in many, many ways. And one of which is this startup garden that she invented and manages. People in our ecosystem love it. The guy in the center there, Andrew Swanson, not only was he a speaker at the startup garden, but he's also kind of an inner circle ecosystem developer. And we have kind of a media centric sort of focus, and Andrew has a media company. It's located here at the Innovation Campus as well. And then the others are just stars around the region, and these are just 3 stars that we put up here just to show you how wonderful it is. So Lisa, we have
a startup garden tonight in Bowling Green.
Have a startup garden tonight. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, I'm over my time, but just want to mention things are going great. We have 285,000 square foot facility and 20,000 square feet across the road. Our expansion is, things couldn't be better in terms of the way the collaborative smart space is working. Over 130 members now, and just growing. And public launch of that's going to be in a month or so. or two. We are expanding ourselves into another location that used to be a headquarters of an international company. They were bought out. They kept their R&D and engineering in there. And so we're going to be expanding our program into that space and bringing more and more new companies that are coming through the pipeline. So more to come on WKU Innovation Campus and Create. And thank you, Lisa. It's back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Buddy. And again, thank you and congratulations to Lisa. And we certainly look forward to seeing everyone next week for the grand opening of the new Coke Center.
Yes, be sure and come out next week, May the 3rd at noon here at the Coke. So, and thank you, Lisa, for the kind words you said earlier. I wasn't on here, but thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a great 20 years. I can't believe it's been 20 years. It flew by, but it's been wonderful. It's been a pleasure to work with all of you. Thank you so much. And I've had the best boss in the whole world, Buddy. So thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you. Gosh, 20 years. That's an amazing investment in your startup community. Cool. All right, moving over to the eastern portion of our state. And I want to welcome Sabrina McWhorter, who is Director of Business and Innovation, covering a vast, large geographic area, Ashland all the way to Pikeville. And so welcome, Sabrina.
Good morning, everybody. And Lisa, how tremendous. Congratulations. You totally earned that retirement. So good job. I'm sure they're going to miss you for sure. And we'll miss seeing your smiling face here. So good morning again. And what a beautiful day it is in Kentucky. I just first want to say thank you so much to each of you who have made time to be on here for this wonderful fellowship and learning opportunity, and for really making that a priority in your day. That's incredible. So kudos to you all. We're going to dive straight into all of the fun things, highlighting Annie's Frugal Finery. This is obviously a very woman-led, pink loving, I wore my pink in honor of them, company that is based in Letcher County, and they are doing something very unique. They are a consignment shop. They sell a variety of items, but what's really amazing about them is that half of their gross sales goes back into the pockets of consigners within their communities and surrounding communities. So they identified a need in a very rural area and created a business to solve that need. And then they took it a step further by promoting the importance of reusing goods to stop the vicious cycle of fast fashion and waste. They recently competed, so thank you so much for that shout out, Lisa, in the Invest 606 pitch competition, where they did take home 3rd place, which was so exciting. And probably the biggest excitement from their last quarter is they were just recently awarded the Kentucky Small Business Tax Credit. So I'm going to give a shameless plug for that program. If you are a business or a supporting someone supporting entrepreneurs, this is a shameless plug for that program. This puts money right back into the small business owner's hands, giving them opportunity to grow their business and be awarded to do it. So it's a win-win. I'll give another shameless plug. We do have a blog about it on our website, so be sure to check that out. You can go over to the next slide. Thank you. So this is a look at our last 9 months compared to our 12 months goal. So you're going to see me looking down because I'm half blind and can't see the screen. So we have served 375 startups compared to our goal of 312. We have referred 45 startups compared to our goal of 48. 21 startups have advanced, which is absolutely incredible compared to our goal of 12. 6 new businesses have been created compared to 6. 26 new jobs created compared to our goal of 30. Again, events, we love to do them. So we had 21 events compared to our goal of 8, with 3,022 attendees compared to 360. So we get pretty excited about events around our parts of the woods here. We do have 10 startups funded compared to 8, and 100, well, let's see. Can't read my own screen here. $1,654,100 invested into startups compared to our goal of $300,000. I did pull out that $127 million from App Harvest investment and just put that underneath because, you know, sometimes people were wondering, where is that $127 million coming from? So next slide, please. All right. We just had the first in Kentucky, 4th in the United States, United States Patent Trademark Office Trademark Boot Camp. It's in partnership with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's probably why they use an acronym, USPTO. And so we were able to do that in partnership with several of our partners. We had 16 participants from surrounding counties and a couple of states, which was really, really cool. So they came, they learned, they took home really amazing deliverable next step items. And within the next week, we already had one participant who had already filed for their trademark. So we're really excited about it. So excited that we're already looking at a patent boot camp this fall. So keep an eye out for that. We've not released a date, but I think it will be close around Moorhead area because that's pretty central location for everybody. And then finally, it's that time of year. Our Startup Appalachia pitch competition is back, and it will be held June 15th at Moorhead State University. As a reminder, if you know a business within the 54 ARC mandated Kentucky counties that has been in business for less than 5 years, send them our way. We are so excited this year that through the amazing generosity of Community Trust Bank, we're able to award $10,000 for first place prize. And the deadline is May 12th. So if you're one of the finalists, we usually have around 8. All finalists will go home with a monetary prize, plus all the things that come in the swag bag, which sometimes is their favorite part. So it's a really fun event. It's great to attend, even if you're not competing. Be there, love on the entrepreneurs, invite them to mingle in your network and your connections. That's how we grow, is through fellowship and working together with one another. So please come out, cheer them on, and it's going to be a really great event. And last slide.
I think that's it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the last slide would have been of my team. So that had all our contact number. I have a new member to our team. So welcome, Casey, our startup engagement coordinator. If you need anything, you know how to reach us. Get on the website, email us, call us. We are here to serve you. We're happy to be here. We're on fire for Appalachia, and we want to support you through your journey. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. And again, welcome to Casey joining the SOAR team. And then finally, as we come to the middle of the state representing our Lexington region, we have Garrett Farbach, who's Director of Outreach and Student Engagement, who's going to give us an update from Awesome. Hi, Garrett.
Hey, thanks so much, Lisa. Appreciate it. Larry, I always say hey to you, so glad you're here today. So we're going to go with a startup win that we actually spoke about this company last quarter. And Amanda, goes by Mandy, has been doing phenomenal work. So Base here, UK, and Austin have all worked with non-binary solutions. But really cool was Mandy participated in 5 Across, did very, very well for her first pitch competition, and now is pitching across the country. So get out of Kentucky, going to California and Austin, and doing very well. And then what's cool is non-binary has been able to have a lot of flux workspace, a lot of meeting space over with Base here. And again, Meredith Moore is doing phenomenal work with a lot of entrepreneurs here in Lexington. So we're very grateful for their partnership and allowing for another hotspot in our city to let entrepreneurs grow their businesses. So thanks so much to them. And they're also working with an angel group, which is super cool. Next slide, please. And then here are our metrics up to date. I must say, when I see everyone else's slide, I feel a little lame for having just a spreadsheet format, just to talk about the aesthetics. But here are our numbers up to date. We've seen a lot of growth. Again, our partners UK OTC and Base here are doing a phenomenal work with housing entrepreneurs, having a lot of one-on-one coaching sessions, throwing a ton of events. We've seen events and attendance skyrocket here in Lexington, which is really something special. And something that we're also excited about is looking at a lot of the referrals that we're getting from both internally here as one of the hub leads from across the state. So Monica has sent us some people to pitch from 5 Across. We have a fellowship company right now that's from Western Kentucky. And so we're just seeing better communication statewide, which is allowing us to grow. And we're thankful for everyone on this call that's just helping entrepreneurs in our state. It's great. And then one of the best things I want to talk about real quickly is some of our events have grown this year from so many people just spreading the word and sending people to come out. And so we've broken our 5 Across records the past 2 events, which is exciting. And having people from all corners of Kentucky come and join, and as well having entrepreneurs pitch who are from all the corners in our region. So we're very excited to see that, and just seeing there's a lot more excitement for what's happening here in the state around entrepreneurship. Next slide, please. Awesome. And this is our event highlight that happened a few weeks ago. And I'm going to read a couple notes from some of our team that attended this event. But first off, shout out to UK OTC and Launch Blue for having a phenomenal event. Lisa, you mentioned Gordon Daughtery coming and sharing a lot of wisdom here in Lexington for a couple of days. He met with the Awesome Inc. team and just sparked a fire from what we're doing as well. But some of the highlights that he shared is that he made founders understand how the funding game works. Again, he's an author that has been a co-founder of Capital Factory. He knows stuff very well, but shared how the funding game works in terms of using investment money, not to necessarily turn a profit, but to be able to understand how to get to that next round of funding and know how to use that money strategically and not necessarily go into that next round limping because you're hurting for cash. And then another nugget that was really helpful, he mentioned as far as building an ecosystem, he's really about pushing entrepreneurs to have successful founders in the area reinvest. So for us, that looks like the fellowship portfolio companies coming back in and reinvesting in younger startups, being mentors. So he talks about people reinvesting in your current area, and that's going to help larger tech companies come and attract talent, things that we're very well of. And then he's talked about funds. Funds will try and go to where startups are, not startups relocate to where a fund can be. So funds want to be deployed where there's a hotspot for startups, and we're seeing that here in our state as well. And some of y'all know about the awesome fund that we're trying to launch. So we're just seeing a lot that is going very well, and a lot of different parts, especially these hubs, are playing into that. And Gordon was definitely some inspiration to help us keep on keeping on with the activity that we're doing. And then next slide as well, please. So this is one of the unique initiatives I wanted to discuss. It's actually happening today, and then we're going to have one that happens in October. But this is something we've done called the Fellowship Demo Day, where we get fellowship alum that come through, different companies that are here at base here that have gone through Launch Blue, gone through the Von Allman Center here in Lexington, that come, and we just have an entrepreneur showcase for about an hour. So we're going to have 4 companies that are graduating from the fellowship this afternoon, 4 that are at the halfway point, and the 4 that we're onboarding for this spring. And so we're going to have past 5 across judges. Lisa, you've driven up for these in the past. And it's really helpful to get a bunch of people who are like-minded in the same environment to talk, to network. And really what we try to do is just put entrepreneurs on a little platform, talk about the work they're doing, let them brag on themselves, and give them the recognition that they deserve. And then also after this, we're going to have a corporate roundtable here at Awesome Inc. for some local companies listed below: Toyota, Bullard, Logan Aluminum, UK. And then this evening, we're going to have 5 across at the Kentucky Theater. And again, we're excited to go there because we've outgrown all the other spaces, which is a good problem to have. And again, today is just a day packed full of entrepreneurial activities just to get people in the environment to either to recharge their batteries, to do some great networking, and see some very cool up and coming entrepreneurs. And then last slide is going to be emails for myself, for Eric, and Meredith, who are some of the partners here in Lexington. And again, thanks for the time, Lisa. This is always done so well. Appreciate it. And great job to all the other hubs that spoke today.
Great. Thank you so much, Garrett. And again, we want to certainly thank both UK Innovate as well as Launch Blue for bringing Gordon in. Very inspirational. Appreciate that. And then just to wrap us up, because we're right at time, our next monthly ESO webinar is scheduled for, and this is a date change, Tuesday, May 30th. Mark that down in your calendars, May 30th, and that will be focused on minority focused programs and entrepreneurial support organizations in that realm. And then our next quarterly update, which will give the hubs an opportunity to share a full year's worth of their progress and impact against fiscal year goals, is scheduled for Wednesday, July 26th at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And so with that, that is everything we have to share for the first 9 months of this fiscal year. And I want to thank all of our Innovation Hub directors and teams for your work in preparing this information, sharing it with all of our Kentucky entrepreneurial ecosystem. Thank you all so much, and everybody have a great day.